How's everybody doing? Basically, this video is going to be very different, but it's because I found a lack of information while I was preparing to become a father and first-time father and going through preparations for it and everything. So let's go ahead, roll the intro, and jump right into tips and tricks that I think are key things, especially the last few weeks of your pregnancy and getting ready for the delivery. All right, this might sound stupid, but a birthing plan. Birthing plan is something that simply just asks you general questions about what your spouse is wanting going through the entire delivery process, what they're going to want as far as medicine wise, what they're going to want for lights in the room, music, peanut balls, anything like that. You can find these anywhere online. Search a birthing plan, simple birthing plan on Google. You'll find one. Of course, look for a free one. Get a couple of them. Go through all the questions with your spouse. Get general questions answered, especially if it's your guys' first kid. It might bring up a question that neither one of you have thought about yet. That's when you can consult other people and get their experience about it. Speaking about that, asking trusted individuals for their experience, especially if they've had a kid in the last 2 years. If you can find somebody that actually went to the same hospital as you, we thankfully had some friends that did that. It was a wonderful thing to get their insight of what helped them, what they wish they packed, what they wish they didn't pack, all that good stuff. And then after you get this birthing plan all the way done in between you and your spouse, if you're planning on having anybody else inside the delivery room during the delivery, then sit down and speak to them about it. That way, all people in the same party are on the same page. Your entire job is not just to become a father during this, but it's to help your partner go through everything she's about to go through. Because it is going to be stressful. It is going to have her in such moments that she's not going to be able to think straight. So being able to speak for her and advocate for her is huge. Going into the next thing, a hospital tour. If it is available, go for it. It sounds ridiculous when you first hear about it, but the hospital tour that we went on was extremely helpful. First thing they did was sit down with a nurse and went through everything that they suggested or knew about what the process was going to be about. Even though you just talked to those friends about their experiences, they also were going through the stressful moment. These nurses do it every single day, multiple times a day. They're going to be able to answer those questions that your friends might not have been able to. Along with that, you actually went through the step-by-step processes of which rooms you would be going through. Everybody knows that the hurry up and waitness of either ex-military or just general life is very monotonous and stressful. With that, you get to know, like, we're going to go to triage first. We're going to move from triage to the delivery room. After the baby is delivered, then we're going to move to recovery. And you know what floors you're going to. You know where the operating room is, just down the hallway if it's necessary. Hopefully it's not. But it lets you know all those little minute details to try to put your mind at ease going through this entire delivery process. Also, it's a great time to ask about visitor restrictions. We happen to have our daughter during a flu restriction. So there could only be one person other than my wife in the triage room. There could be two people other than my wife in the delivery room. There can be only two people other than my wife in the recovery rooms. So it helped us immediately know that no, it's not going to be like you see in a movie with a million people surrounding the bed welcoming our daughter into the world. We're going to have limitations to it. There's going to be some logistics to this. Another thing that came great out of the hospital tour is what we packed. They were able to give us a suggestion list of what all should be packed in both her bag, my bag, and the baby's bag. So that will be our next section. Let's get into that. So our hospital was able, during the hospital tour, to give us a preview of everything that was going to be available to us during our visit and our stay. Those things, everything for the baby was accounted for, other than the stroller or the car seat and what they were going to wear when leaving the hospital, because you can't have them swaddled up and be inside of a car seat and have them all the way harnessed in. So the baby was 100% taken care of on that side of things. Other things that they were able to give us was that as soon as we entered the hospital, my wife was only allowed to be on a clear diet, which means clear liquids, only Jello, nothing of very much substance. So imagine that you got there early in the morning, let's say 9 a.m., but you didn't deliver till past midnight. That's going to be a long time to go without substantial food. So we already knew in the back of our minds that before we even go to the hospital, we're going to stop and get some type of food. Fast food, most likely. Is it going to be the most healthy? No. But it's going to keep her energy up while she's going through things. And then in her bag, she had a few gowns that were better than hospital gowns that she wanted. She had a few pairs of socks, a few pairs of comfortable sweatpants to wear, things like that that were going to make her comfortable. We knew that we wanted music, so we brought in our own speaker. On top of that, we brought a snack bag. She was thinking about me a lot during this. She brought me in a snack bag just in case we were going to be there for an extended amount of time. She basically brought 2 days worth of clothes, gowns and everything that you would be in a hospital bed. And then everything else was provided for her. The meals were provided for her, not me, not the spouse, but for her. That's a good thing to keep in mind. Again, I tried to look up this information as a guy, and there's not much guy information on the end. As far as what I packed in my bag, I packed 2 days worth of clothes, remembering that I already have a day's worth of clothes on my back. So that means I'm already prepared to be at the hospital for 3 days. I brought a power strip with USB chargers for every phone that was going to be in the room. I brought extra of the USB cables because we're going to be taking pictures. We're going to be communicating with families, especially during flu time regulations, where I'm coordinating what visitors come in, what visitors go out, all that. We're doing a lot with our phones. So phone chargers are very important. I brought a camera. This needs to be talked during the birthing plan. Do you want your birth delivery process and everything to be recorded? She might want that recorded to reflect on in a later time. So I brought my camera equipment with me. I didn't bring what you guys see in the rest of my videos of that huge case with everything I could ever want when I'm shooting a video to do mechanics, but I brought basically a selfie stick that turned into a tripod and my Instago 3S camera that I shoot everything on. So there was something there. Also, we had our phones on us for a camera to take those picture moments, but the video was caught through my Insta360. Also, another big thing to think of while you're packing is to have your car seat weeks in advance already in the car. You don't want to get that oh crap moment of we need to go to the hospital, but I haven't put the car seat in the car yet. I haven't figured that out yet. Because let's face it, it is not rocket science to put a car seat into a car, but you want to make sure you're doing it right. It's your kid. You're trying to protect your wife and your kid to the utmost of your ability. Take the time, learn your car seat, get it installed correctly. They're going to check it when you leave the hospital. So those are huge things that I would highly suggest. The other big thing is, if you know a pregnancy is 40 weeks. If we're at 39 weeks, I would say it's safe to go ahead and leave the bags in the car because it's coming soon. But try to prep for it as much as you can. Go ahead and have the bags set aside. You're not trying to win a beauty contest while you're at the hospital. You're just trying to be supportive for your wife and your new arriving kid. Another huge thing I couldn't find much information on was what to expect in the delivery room as a father. Because, I mean, on the female side of things, there was plenty of information. But when they start talking about the guy side of things, there's not much of what was expected from the male or anything like that. So I want to touch on that. First and foremost, you're her advocate. You already know her birthing plan. You already got her bags packed. You know where everything's at. You are her advocate. That means if there's questions and she's having a hard time responding, just because you already know the birthing plan and everything to go through, you can answer those questions. That doesn't mean answer them for her 100% of the time, but if she's struggling, and you'll know it, it's your spouse, then you get a chance to be their advocate for her. Along with that, breathing. What they're doing with their body of giving birth, let's face it, is just a freaking miracle. They're going through hell with their body at that time. In between those pushes, they need to breathe. One thing that I used with my wife, and it worked very well, was smell the roses, blow out the candles. Well, that means literally smell through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Now, there was times even going through the pushing phases, or in between them, that she would start doing it short breath, like that's not helping your pulse rate come back down. We're trying to calm your body back down and prepare you for another push. And it's going to be a hard push. You need that energy. So whatever the form is, whatever the talking is, however you can get that message across to your wife. Meantime, you have probably 3 or 4 nurses and a doctor and maybe somebody else in the room trying to give coaching advice also. You need her to register that you're trying to help her breathe. We were able to get my wife's pulse down to 60, a normal resting heart rate in between pushes during the delivery process, which was amazing. And it really gave her a chance to absorb what's happening and what she needs to do. Along with that, have that water on standby. If she doesn't ask for it, offer it. And I don't mean she needs to take full gulps and try to down an entire water bottle during it. Take a little shot of water. Keep her hydrated. She's going through a lot. Along with that, during the birthing process, you can or might be asked to support her leg during it. You're going to see things. If you're squeamish and you don't want to see it, keep eye contact with her. One of the worst things that I could ever imagine doing to my wife was looking down somewhere that I shouldn't have been and saying something like, oh shit, or oh God. She doesn't need to hear that out of you. You're her rock. You're her stone. If you know you're squeamish with these things, look her in the eyes. Keep it all eye contact. If you're not squeamish with these things, yes, you can take a look. You can tell her if she's progressing or anything else. You can be her advocate. You can cheer her on during it. But if you're going to pass out or you're going to word vomit something stupid, eye contact. Eye contact. Along with that, I heard this during a podcast, and I'm so glad I heard it beforehand. Just so you know, new father, if you are watching when your baby is born, after the head has left the body, I don't have a better word for it other than snatch that kid out of your wife. They take that kid very quickly. It looks aggressive, but it's exactly what needs to be done because we got to get baby screaming, we got to get baby breathing, we got to warm the baby up. There's multiple things that need to be happening. So don't be alarmed by it, but I was very happy that I got a warning to that because it doesn't look like something that should just happen. And it could be the heat of the moment and let you know that your wife's going through the pain and it looks worse than what it is. But it does happen very quickly. So just be prepared for that. Along with that, if your wife has accidents while delivering the baby, she is pushing something that's 5 to 11 pounds out of her body. There might be accidents. It's not the time to comment on them. Leave that to yourself. So, along with that, from your birthing plan, you already know if you need to cut the cord. You already know what mom wants as far as skin to skin contact at the beginning. You're already set up for that. So, you're already doing great. Let's move on. Supporting your spouse afterwards. This is huge in the recovery room, or even at the end of being in the delivery room and moving to the recovery room. We happen to be doing this movement at 4 a.m. Both of us have been up for over 24 hours. We're groggy. She just went through a very intense thing. You, me, myself, I was already stressed and on high alert. When I get stressed, I want to fix things. I want to make them good. Best thing you can do, control your breathing, smell the roses, blow out the candles. Also with that, you need to listen to all the briefings. She wasn't fully underneath anesthesia at all, but she might as well been with everything that her body just went through. So listen to these briefings that they're giving you. You're even if you got to bust out a piece of paper and a pen, take notes. Be that person that listens to the briefings and can know the information. That way, if there's a question later, you're able to answer it. Along with that, she was just in the most pain that she has ever been in her life. This is the time to be supportive. It's not the time to be sitting there, unless you guys have the type of relationship that you can crack jokes back and forth. Know your audience. Know the time to do that. Get her what she needs. She needs water. First thing that they put in front of us in the recovery room was a menu from the hospital that we could order things from the dining facility for her. So I knew that my wife hadn't eaten in probably 12 hours by that time. I knew that all she had was water. I wanted to get some food into my wife to make sure that she was still doing well and was able to recover some. So get that menu in front of her. Ask her what she wants. Go ahead and order it for her. Get it on the way. Because it could take 45 minutes to an hour to get up to your room. So they need time to make the food. Also with that, make sure she's taken care of. Both of you are going to need energy to take care of this kid. Why I put that in my notes to brief you guys. I personally got so wrapped up in worrying about my kid and my wife and everything that was happening with them that I forgot to take care of myself. I made sure that she got food. I made sure that she got water. She got everything she needed. I'd sacrificed that for myself just to be able to do that. What that ended up doing is after about a 48-hour period, I crashed. I was feeling lightheaded, had the shakes, everything. I needed to sit down. And I basically ripped away any support that I was giving my wife when I should have been taking those small little increments of time and giving them to her. And the fact that I could have sat down, I could have ate, I could have taken more care of myself. I could have remembered, smell the roses, blow out the candles, brought my own heart rate down, made sure that I was in a good state to take care of a newborn child. Those are some of the biggest things that you will ever want to do with this. There's an old saying, or I guess thought process, that a mother feels like a mother when she starts her pregnancy, and a father doesn't feel like a father until their baby is actually here. I don't think that's 100% true. I very much felt like I was going to be a father. I felt like everything, there was things I had to do before the baby was here. I had to get these things done. I had to check them off my list. But they all, how do I explain it? As soon as I saw my daughter's face for the first time, as soon as I felt her hand wrap around my finger and her calm down from just holding her hand, it clicked. Everything I've been working up towards, everything that I want to do, everything I want to be a good father about, taking lessons and things from all of my life to do things the correct way as much as possible. This is the most biggest on-the-job training job you will ever have in your life. Nobody knows how to be a father until you are a father. So you're learning it on the fly. Am I going to make mistakes? Oh yeah, I'm going to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But all I can do is do my best to make sure I'm doing whatever I can for my daughter and my wife. And I plan on doing that. Last bit of advice I wanted to give you guys. Something that I watch a lot of Cletus McFarlane. I used to watch a lot of Greg Biffle before Greg Biffle passed away. And Greg Biffle had told Cletus, because Cletus just has toddler, and I believe he has 2 toddlers now. And Greg Biffle had kids also that were a little bit older. He told Cletus, give them the 10 minutes that they asked for. You might be having the most stressful day ever in your life, but your kid comes up to you and wants to tell you something for 10 minutes. There's no reason to take your stress and plant it onto your kid. Give them those 10 minutes. That's something I definitely plan on doing. So this will probably be my last video for a little while about giving baby advice and everything. Again, I read 6 different books. I found little bits of information out of each and every single one of them. I watched countless YouTube videos about what to pack, what to expect, and they were all over the place. And there's a good reason. Every pregnancy, every delivery is different. So, what I would suggest, research. Do your research. Everything in the world could be going dead perfect. But no matter how good of a plan you have, your plans change as soon as you get punched in the face. And of course, I'm talking metaphorically, but it could be something simple. Your person that was supposed to be in the room with your wife and you wasn't able to show up on time. Now you're pulling technically double duty. All that stuff. It's very important. Communicate, communicate, communicate with your wife. Talk about these things coming up to the end of the pregnancy and what she wants. That way you can be her advocate for it. And then from there, take those 10 minutes to support your kids, because you're their provider. You're their protector. You can't protect if you're failing yourself. So get yourself in good enough shape to be able to protect them. So anyhow, next week we'll be getting back to the farm stuff. I have a few videos saved up to support me a little bit in the time that I'm taking care of my own. So there'll be a few videos catching up. Hopefully during my maternity leave, I'll shoot a few videos, but not much. So if I get behind schedule, I think I have a pretty good excuse. But anyhow, we'll see you guys next week.